Tuesday's edition of In the News 2. My name is Oladayola Lupeko, and Tuesdays, well, thank God, one of our leaders he officially took permission. Let me just tell you that he will be away, and today is back with us. Let me quickly introduce so that I will come back to the topics. Someone else shoot alarm. I do take shoot alarm.
Thank you.
His brother is always laughing. He wants to hide that.
Okay, let him do it.
Maybe today, if you are a baby today.
Sir, he starts your back.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
While you were away, we kept on telling the viewers, join us.
Yeah, I was with you in spirit, and you see,
I can see that.
We need to also break up. It's necessary. The Uibo who made it for our own good. So once in a while we must break off and go on leave and relax.
And honestly, I can see that in you.
Oh yeah.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sir, very good afternoon.
Sir,
thank God, your brother is here.
Yeah. I feel more comfortable now. But you see, one thing we have to give to him is that he's very lucky. One of the few men who will do Omugo. It's women that do that. But one of the few men that has the opportunity of doing that. And then I asked him, he said, you dance with the baby, you pick the baby up. That's good. You're welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Larry will join us. Larry will join us very soon. And that will complete the veterans on Tuesday. Let me quickly go through the topics. The first says 2023, vote buyers, thugs risk 15-year jail term. And what will be going in the minds of my leader, we are getting there. Maybe that will cover the food buying and the thuggery that has permitted the electoral scene in the last few years. And the second topic is the governor of Benue State, autumn to Buhari, the presidency, convene National Security Summit. Well, the issue of security we have overflowed, we have discussed, but we wouldn't shy away from it because of the importance to the national question. And the third topic, well, a bit of the insecurity issue in the country, intrigues, power play, delayed release of Kaduna Abuja train passengers. Why the intrigue and why the power play? It's not that I'm starting from you because you've been away for some time, so you'll be very fresh now. The public hearing of the Electoral Offices Commission is holding today at the House of Rep. Maybe they should be on it now. Don't forget, July last year, the Senate passed its own version of the Electoral Offices Commission, and the House of Rep is concurrence.
Yeah, it's long overdue. Long overdue, and we are getting there. That's why in terms of extrapolation, I must mention that the challenges Kenya is facing is also apposite. So we will get there. We should have gotten to this place long time ago, but it's better to be late than be delayed. Our electoral system cannot continue the way it has been over the years, and we still think we are the giant of Africa. No. If Obama, as president, came to Africa and decided not to come to Nigeria because of our faulty elections and things like that, I think we are beginning to get things right. And because it is no longer a question of if, when it becomes law and the president, after the president would have assented to it, it will be one of the very few things, very few indelible things that President Muhammadu Buhari would have done for us. He has done well with the process of the Electoral Act. And then if we can complement it with this, we'll come to a sum total of a very, very near zero tolerance to irresponsibility in our electoral system as a people. Irresponsibility, I call it, because it is irresponsibility. We Nigerians have been doing what vote, get crashing on votes. Let's use that word over the years from the 1950s down, and then we have not been able to arrest it. For once, we are beginning to arrest it. It will be a good icing on the cake when this law is. So that thuggery of any, when you want to go in, you must know that you have an option to be in jail for 15 years or stay at home and be a gentleman that you are supposed to be.
Okay. So I'm coming to you. Nigeria election has always been characterized with violence, rigging. Somebody will even say from rigging to alteration of results to now to vote buying. You see the Electoral Affairs Commission having or arresting.
Well, I think for me, it's not as if there are no laws to go by in punishing these people who violate, who do this kind of thing that we're talking about. But the will has never been there. Even this law that we're talking about now, if the electoral law is eventually on the table, the will to make sure that it is activated, it is what we need right now. All these people who have been doing vote buying, Togri has been here for a very long period. How many people have been arrested? Togri. You never get to arrest them because one big man is there, one big guy is there, holding forth for them. And if eventually they are arrested and taken to the police station, you do not go beyond that police station. Before you know it, the next few days, they are released. So it's not as if you cannot prosecute them, but the will has never been there to do it. So let us assume, let us pray that when this law comes into effect, we will have that will to go the whole hog and do what we are supposed to do. Look at what happened, I mentioned it there the other time. Look at what happened in Ekiti State during the election. When law enforcement agents can snatch money from people they are supposed to have arrested and made away with the money. And so what are we talking about? So law enforcement agencies breaking the law and they were never arrested. Nothing happened. So this thing has been going on. There are certain instances where you even find that when money is being distributed, the law enforcement agents on spot there who want to share their own. And then you're talking about the fact that the will is not there. So this law does not take anything out of me, but I just pray that we have the will to be able to prosecute people who commit electoral offences.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Just said that you said you was injured in your back. I want you to take from what you guys just talked. Is it because there is no clear cut of who should prosecute? Some of the INEC will say because of talk of INEC, it's going to say will pass. It's about Bob passing. But with this Electoral Affairs Commission, you see a different scenario from where we are coming from.
Well, it is fire brigade. Whatever the Electoral Act is looking at about the thuggery thing, because thugs don't just emerge from the moon or from the winds. They have been in existence in some place and they are just conscripted for electoral purposes. So it is best to actually address thuggery itself as a rule, because in most cases, when there is no election, then what do thugs do? They are on the streets, they are in the parks, they are obtaining from people by force, and when they are caught, some big man who wants to conscript them sometime soon when there's an election is there to back them up and free them. So if we don't really address the nucleus, we are just being peripheral in our solution. Thugs are not been ever known to be created by electoral process, but they are just conscripted from where they exist to do that, which is the hatchet job for politicians who in most cases are not getting it right on the political field and have decided to change the game plan. So ordinarily, yes, the law is good, but the truth, like Bonsoya said, is that there have been laws to even deal with such miscreants. But you see, they snipe people's bags, go back into their corner with their people, and nobody cares. They arrest people for committing no crimes. Powers they do not have, they exercise it on the streets. Nobody is talking about that. And so when they go and get conscripted, it's because somebody was always their backbone when they committed laws against the laws of the land. They committed crime against the laws of the land. So those who have done that is like a one good turn decides another. And one thing at the back of thoughts, that's why they show up during elections with confidence, is that no, somebody is backing us, they will free us. And that's unfortunate. Okay, for instance, are there elections now? No. Presently, at least in Osun. And somebody was attacked somewhere and killed.
Split over from election?
It's both ways.
Okay.
Both ways. You see, so it means those who perpetrate these acts have always been there, whether there is election or not. And the law enforcement agents will believe, look, if you arrest Mr. A, that we know so well to be a miscreant, some Mr. Z is coming to free him. So why bother? Until we have institutions that are independent on their own to act based on what the Constitution expects them to do, we'll still be dancing around this circles.
Okay, Esmole, I'm back to you. The two speakers, and Larry, spoke about the will.
Yeah.
But this time around, perhaps we need specific, and you see that some provision of the bill recommended tougher sanctions for political parties, for candidates, for party agents, for supporters, for voters, and indeed security personnel.
Yeah, we are getting it clearer now. There wasn't anything until now. It was omnibus. Today, yes, it's getting specific. But the fact of the will which Saya and Larry have raised is still there. You see, you can have all these things. Sometimes the talk becomes a scapegoat because the man who is the very big man, who is
at the background,
has a way of connecting at the top and making sure that evidence will not be led to him being traced. So it is good that we are having this an all-comers affair thing. Everybody who participated in this heinous crime must be located and brought to book. The problem there is that who does the identification? At the end of the day, it might be the same police officer who maybe has been compromised. So where is the evidence he's going to bring to lead to the arrest of the big man, the very, very senior man there, who is the alpha and omega behind all this scenario, behind this crime? Political will too. But I would want to say that I prefer what we are seeing. It's coming gradually. You don't get it in the soup fire. It's coming gradually. Before now, it was omnibus, bulk passing, as you said it. Today, bulk passing may be reduced. Even if it is reduced by 25 to 30%, we are going somewhere. I have a feeling that in the next 15 to 20 years, the generation of Nigerians who are coming behind us will enter into, call it El Dorado, and you may brag, not necessarily for financial, but things will begin to work a little because the young men are mad. The young women are getting madder and they want to face any challenge because they have come to realize that it is in their hands. Making Nigeria a success is in their hands, no longer in the hands of the elderly ones who, 65 upwards, have failed the nation totally and absolutely.
So sometimes a former president, late now, Yaradua, came out to tell Nigerians, my election is not free or fair. And like somebody said, you don't see us, that kind of comment, you don't see kind of moving from where we were to somewhere, though he didn't live to
Yeah, I'm not totally in oblivion of the fact that we are transiting. Yes, we are transiting, but at what pace? See, that's the question I keep asking myself.
It's not about the pace.
No, wait.
But like someone said,
let me finish.
the fact that we are getting there.
Yes, you are saying we have been getting there since 1959. We are getting there. When will we get there? That's what I have in my mind. Some people don't want these things to work. And that's where I stand. They don't want it to work at all. And these are the people who are the big shots.
The godfathers.
Yes, the godfathers who call the shots in this country. There was something I was reading this morning about a case that Interpol is investigating. It's a very serious case involving Kenya and Nigeria, involving heads of state of these two ex-deputy here and head of state of that place. Money laundering. And these two countries have interface with Interpol. Why can't law enforcement agents take this case up and do something about it? Let me give you an instance. Each time we talk about vandals in this country, or we talk about rogues in this country, or we talk about robbers in this country, I've always said it that if we have the will to do this thing, we will do it. If Dubai could mention names of people who are behind Boko Haram, and we saw all these names, how many of them have been prosecuted? How many of them have been arrested here? This is where I stand. And I want to believe that it's not as if we will not get there. I believe we will get there. Like Sibisa will say, the SWAL band. We will get there. Heavens know when we will get there. We know we will. When we will get there, we don't know. But I'm quite sure that
But we know we will.
we will get there. But I believe one thing is, all of us, if you take up arms in terms of not physical arms now, in terms of educating the masses,
Right.
in terms of letting them write us and everything.
Was what I just mentioned now that even our youths
Yes,
seems
yes,
to
yes.
be more than committed.
They
Yes.
are. They are.
Now,
They are committed.
take them for
They are
granted.
committed. They are committed. Mind you, in their commitment too, a lot of these youths are looking for where to butter their breads.
Opportunities.
Yes, they are. When you see them talking fiercely, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. We are up. We are doing this. It's not that they have the law of this country at heart. A lot of them are looking for how to live a comfortable life. Once they attain that, look at what happened in the South geopolitical zone. When they were agitating then, we want this place to be developed. We want this, all this Tompolo, all these people of that place. By the time some of them become billionaires and millionaires, they just sat back and forgot the whole struggle. So everybody's busy struggling for his own pocket. And until we realize that we have to be patriotic enough to know that Nigeria stands above every other person, that's when we get there.
okay, so let me read this certain any politician or candidate alleged to have corruptly perverted or undermine the cause of electoral justice adopt measures to prevent, minimize, and eradicate the commission of electoral offences throughout the federation. The seizure of any property, movable or immovable, that is used or suspected to be used in the commission of electoral offence. That's section 13, 1 and 2 of the, and even 15 years imprisonment for that candidate, either elective or whatever. You see us shifting, moving.
Well, like Smollett said, the movement may be slow, but the young people are trying to get it right this time and all the rest. I would like to add that these young people are not ready to wait anymore.
Yeah.
They are in a hurry. And they are vehement and vocal about it. And there is a difference. Whatever it's worth, I believe it is not ethnic or tribe or religion now driving them. And you recollect there was a day we were talking here that I said the nation should take a cue from the NSAS activities. When on Fridays Christians barricaded the place where they were having that rally
To protect
for Muslims while they were praying. And on Sunday they came to join the. So they have realized that religion is not a problem, it's being used by a group of people to divide them. So there is a unity of purpose in identifying that, look, that 15 years that Smollett was looking at is not in their own books again. You've had your time, allow us. And I read, yes, Panika Edo is loud and all the rest. And the title he gave his message was that the obedience are dangerous. At the end of the day, if you look at the body of what he was talking about, he said their purpose is different. It's not money driven. They are doing so. Some of these things, yes, remove it from the political, but I'm telling you, the young people are angry because they believe that delivery of service has not been rendered for a long time, even since they were born, and they are not going to have any more of that. So, largely, all these things we're talking about, it is the old order that has entrenched it, that has made it part of our body language, and some of these things, even the umpire, which is INEC, must also practice what he's trying to preach to us. What the Electoral Act is expecting from the citizens should equally be expected from INEC as an organization. They should give assurances to Nigerians that there won't be underage voting again in Nigeria. These are some of the things that makes the results of whatever elections they midwife questionable. They should drag everyone onto the field in a plain and equal way. So I will appear that there have been assists in some places against others.
Okay.
Talk about collection of PVCs now. There are issues that people are not being able to access their PVCs as they should, whereas in other places there are ways of getting them done. So we want everything to be equitable, we want it to be fair, and we want it to be just. That way we will get things better and right.
Small, I want to part of the Electoral Affairs Commission bill, section 13. Don't forget we are like we rightly said, Senate already passed it, and so the concurrence of the House, meaning that
They
like
will
rightly
also
said,
do it. They will do it.
But look at section 13, based on what Line just said. Section 13, subsection 13 says any Nigerian who votes at any election when he is not entitled to vote shall be guilty of an offence and shall be liable on conviction to imprisonment for a time not less than 15 years or a minimum of 3 million of votes. But somebody is saying, why the option of 5? Why not? If you're not
okay, yeah. But you see, the problem, a very good step forward. But who will come forward and tell us the age of that young man? Who will tell you, particularly in the
media? We see recording of voting where they are voting. We see is this one qualified? Is this one they see?
Some of these young boys, do I call them boys? Children who vote.
Children.
Yes, they are
Children. So how can you
where do you see him again after finishing his vote? How do you get him? It is a good law that is being put in place, but it calls for all of us being sincere. In the first place, why must you surrender them to go and register for a process they are not qualified for? The corruption starts from there. So, if you can do that, it is the man or woman who allowed them to, or who arranged them to come forward to vote. Oftentimes, it's not their parents. Oftentimes, it is the big man who wants votes. He just goes and brings them all together, puts some 1,000 naira in their hands, and those most essentially Almajiri boys, they will go and vote. They will go and register. You don't get that in the South, because here in the South, somebody will tell the little boy that you are not fit to vote, and the registration officer will not register him. You will see it, as Yorubas will say, if you see a boy who is 12, 13, 14, no matter how huge size he is, you will know that this boy, ask him in which class he is, and to tell you, at that material time, he is not likely or very likely to be able to tell you, to tell lies. We just tell you, I'm in SS4, SS2, SS3. An SS2, 3 boy is not yet 17. Not to talk of being 18 and qualifying for.
But let me get to first, because we round up on this topic. and this one concerns a candidate. It says part of the bill, the section 13, 1 and 2. Any person who knowingly makes any false statement or in connection with any application to be placed on the National Register of Voters kept by INEC, or 2, forges or fraudulently defaces or fraudulently destroys any document for the purpose of nomination by an elective office, or delivers to the INEC or State Electoral Commission any document for the purpose of nomination for an elective office, no need to be forged. 15 years.
Yes. You see, I like that one.
I know.
I like that because
we'll be very careful.
It's not addressing the candidates themselves.
Okay.
Yes. Now, because we have a lot of them in the public space now, trying to jostle for one position or the other. And if you look at the antecedents, look at what they have on ground, it's not to write about. And yet, I received all these things without even bothering to investigate.
No, court.
Yes.
Only court can decide.
Yes, only court can decide. But look, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. You see a 9-year-old boy claiming to be a 15-year-old, 20-year-old boy. Obviously, you know that this one cannot be. Why don't you refuse to register that person? And that person goes to court. I think that's the best way to do it. You refuse to register that person. If you know this person, you are quite sure that this person cannot be up to what he's claiming. You refuse to register that person, then that person go to court. The onus of proof is down rests on that person, not you, as INEC. And I think the INEC officials too must be very careful. Look at we are talking about children having PVCs. How do they register? See, these are the kind of things that we should be very careful with. Things that we know, obviously, that are not right. Some INEC officials will go ahead and do these things. And INEC has already warned itself, obviously, that you are not supposed to participate in any electoral fraud. All right, just warning. Warning, if you perpetrate what happens, you get dismissed. It should go beyond that. They should be prosecuted and brought to justice. So these are the kind of things I believe you should do. But I like this aspect of the candidates.
I know you
yes,
like that.
and that will put some sanity into the system. Any candidate that's going to put any document down now, I know the document is fraudulent.
Yeah.
We are careful.
It's been coming gradually. Look at what happened to Bayelsa State.
So I think now
we should be wrong.
Yes.
Even whether in the names he has gone all through.
It's a good thing. I like it.
And what happened to Salisu Buhari when this?
Lange, I know you want to say, but I want to add this to it, which I just said now about electoral officer, even the security personnel. Section 21 says no person, including election officer or security personnel, engaged by INEC or State Electoral Commission for the conduct of shall, in the course of performing his duties, perform cause to be performed or any act, except that act of giving his vote for any candidate according to law, with an intention of making any particular candidate successful or unsuccessful in election. That I'm an electoral officer, so I can hide or remove somebody's votes.
Yeah.
The truth is, we like that law that I was talking about. Those who are not supposed to take part. Underage people, do you take them to court? Can you try them in court?
Juvenile.
So you cannot send them to jail for 15 years. You can just take them on a social and those people who are present. And how do they do it? Now, they do not go to police stations in some places in Nigeria. Like Smollett said, it doesn't happen in the south because you are supposed to walk to where you meet INEC officials and they take your biodata. Which means if you're underage here, the likelihood that they will even register you is slim. But in other climes, it is house to house.
In other climes?
And when, in Nigeria. And so when the cards are ready, you don't even go through the trouble of going for it. It's brought to your homes. So it's an election day, you see the boys in 2019 election.
Sometimes it's not even brought to your homes. It's cut.
The one is 20
years ago, the one is on election day. The pictures of these boys are there.
Yeah.
They are the ones who own the cards. And they are online. I recollect in 2019 that AIT reported live those boys online, like 10 of them in a straight line, boys of 7, 8, 9, and nobody there to say get out of the line. They had cards with them. It was PVC, and the electoral officer who born them say get out. So the truth is, you have strong electoral officers because the process was wrong. That's why I said INEC itself should practice what it's preaching. Obviously, because we know how it is. We know how the figures pan out, and we want to have a change so that we can have a clear-cut, fair and just election. Let's remove all these shenanigans. Some people get their PVCs, some others don't get. So, I mean, in some places you report 200,000, 500,000 uncollected, and somewhere you say 100%. How can that be possible? So it's a game plan, and let's not fall victim of it. All these laws at some point might look like laws for A and ways for the other.
Okay, shall we go to the second topic? And well, no doubt, even when the bill is passed, the Electoral Basis Commission, I know that we'll still come back to subject it to critical scrutiny. As well, so I'm coming to you. That topic, Governor Tom, same to Buhari, convene National Security Summit. And
yes.
Maybe you see, do you see any difference in the last maybe 2 weeks when the president said, handle that nonsense?
All right.
You see an improvement?
I think if you convene a national
Security Summit.
Security summit right now, the question first of all I will have to ask is, of what effect? To get the facts of the case on ground, to know how far security has been trampled upon in Nigeria, to know how far people have suffered, to know how many people have been killed, to know which security agents have been at fault in all these areas. Maybe that's why he's asking that we convene the National Security Summit. But I must tell you that the government of the day today has all the answers to what we are talking about. We all know these things is in police. We all know all these things. But like I always say again, the will to tackle this problem is what we really need. Except you have somebody, you have a government that is ready, that has the will to say, we want to go headlong into this thing. Some soldiers, about 4 of them on one shot that I got on social media, was saying, we are ready. They were in uniform. Soldiers, they were in uniform. He was mentioning his name, said, we are ready to go into that forest and clear them within 2 weeks. But our guys will not give us the power to do so. They were just being put here to be killed. That we are ready to go there. That's why I say the will. They have made this security thing a cash cow. And that's why we are suffering today. Some people are feeling fat on this security problem that we have in Nigeria. Not minding who source is God. And until we clear our conscience, I know that it's happening to you today, it's happening to somebody else today, it might happen to you tomorrow. Look at this, a senior military man that was killed in, was it just or something? Yeah. There was some few months back. Yes, that kind of thing. You could retire today and get killed by the same bandits that you are protecting, that you are milking.
I hope the former chief of...
That's what I'm saying. Got killed.
Badi got killed.
Yes, Badi got killed. So what are we saying? The will, the patriotism, we must imbibe this. All our leaders must imbibe this patriotic zeal to wipe out this thing. Except we do that, we convene a security summit 1,000 times, it will not work.
Larry, taking that from what I just said, but maybe in the last 2-3 weeks, maybe perhaps the attack on the Bureau of Guards, you see some difference? I mean, the president gave, I just spoke of the will, but that directive cleared those nonsense. And you can see that of recent, the target were being diminished.
Thank God for social media in some instances. There's nonsense almost everywhere. And in tackling that nonsense, as quoting Mr. President, it's in a way showing slap on the wrist in some instances and lethal attack in others. Of late, in the last 2 weeks, when the order came about, some parts of Nigeria have been recording big time incursion of military arsenals, military ammunition on trucks, on gunboats and all the rest moving to those communities. Yes, there were people there who are doing these things. But in other parts, it doesn't seem there is that commitment to wipe them out. And gradually, they are entering the core of the nation's heart, and the nation is acting helpless. If indeed this was to be done effectively, it would have been obvious that they have been decimated. Now, Autumn asking for a security summit, he has always been speaking about it because his state happens to be one of the worst hit states in terms of attacks by bandits and the Boko Haram elements and ISWAP. However, some people are of the opinion that we need even more than
security summit.
Security summit. That the nation should actually sit down and question its constitution. In the hierarchy of the military, check the records. Top hierarchy of all the echelon of military ranks are skewed by appointment, by positions. So if indeed we want to be honest about this, we have to look at all of this, because the architecture of the military leadership goes a long way in determining how orders are given. Like Mr. Fadipe said, soldiers in uniform are saying we want to work, but most times we become like scapegoats in the presence of these bandits, because before we move, they already have information about our movement. Why is this happening? All intelligence, surveillance, and all the rest that they are supposed to do with technology appears to be played down, and we are getting more casualties on our side. And it's supposed to be a ragtag army dealing with them. So obviously, we have to discuss even the constitution of the nation, largely beyond security summit.
Ismail, I'm back to you. Len just spoke about the constitution, but then it's about the summit, the security summit. Sometimes NSC President Ayuba Wahab also called for this summit. He even hinged his own on the life of Nigerian workers. Let me quote Autumn, that is NSC. Autumn is even saying, for how long shall we continue to lose our best brains in the hands of terrorists who do not value lives, when will the federal government take the necessary steps to end this bloodbath by these killers? It is getting to a more dangerous situation where no man is safe again, end of quote. Just oppose that with the NSC. Also the NSC say, no, we will call our workers out if they are no longer safe.
Well, that is going the extreme. Who are the workers you are going to call out? Is the NLC ready to declare a state of anarchy? Nobody does anything. The days of the NSAS, your economy will be down, everything will be down. You see, the summit should have come up
the life of workers.
We are talking. The soldiers who are on the battlefield, are they not workers also? The reality that stares us in the face is that we have long waited for something that should have abated. The security summit should have been held more than 2-3 years back, if there was sincerity, if the authorities felt the need for it. So I said something which is very, very apt. It is not as if the federal government lacks information as to what is going on. It has not developed the courage and ability to face it. Whatever it is.
Just about the recent 2-3 weeks, which that also.
Look, security has been a problem with us in the last 4 years, majorly.
Sure.
It's been there, but it used to be Boko Haram. When the president got his second term, that was when it became worse. Perhaps the radicals or the criminals were waiting, hoping that the president might lose that election and so maybe renegotiate and things like that. But he won the elections, and so they kept on. It's been fire and fire. So if the president was interested in calling for he would have done it long time ago. Today he has less than 5 months. I mean less than 9 months. Effectively, seriously speaking, he has less than how many? 4 + 2, 6.
6 months.
By the time we finish with the election, the party is over. So, and who, if you do a security summit now, who is coming to implement the decisions that are taken? A new governor, a new president comes and he doesn't look at it from that angle. These are national decisions, but we are in a system in which sometimes we find it difficult. Governments don't love taking over from government, doing what the good things a former president or a former governor has done before. Everybody wants to go and start their own new thing. My last take on this is that we don't need much security summit. What we need is the willpower. I have in this studio mentioned the question of collateral. If government continues to think that, oh, because of the collateral losses the countries will face, it shies away from it, then banditry will continue to dominate us. If we know where their hideouts, go there. Yes, you will get a few Nigerians who have no knowledge of what is coming and they are dying. But whether you like it or not, are the bandits, are the kidnappers, are the Boko Haram, are they not killing Nigerians every day?
Okay, so your last take. I think that this, well, some of us will not believe it, and I don't. It also spoke of collapse of security architecture. Is it really a collapse of security architecture?
It's not a collapse of security architecture. No, I don't believe this. It collapsed. Now, look at the DSS, for instance.
Okay.
DSS would always give information all the time.
Okay.
As to what's happening. In fact, zero in on what's happening and how to cut these things. But for action to be taken, that's where the problem lies. So it's not a total collapse of security architecture. Some section of people, some section of the security architecture who are supposed to go in and do what they're supposed to do, they're not doing it. While some others are overdoing what they have to do. And so this is, I think, is the real power of government to tackle this problem. The government knows quite all right. Those who are in charge, who are, I want to do that. Now, so I was talking about the fact that these bandits were probably waiting for the president to lose the election. No, they are waiting for him to win. Thinking that maybe if he won, he will now settle them. But when he won and he didn't settle them, then they decided to go all out. I said, no, you are in for the kill because we know you cannot have a third time. You can't have a third time. So this time that you are in now, it's a man or make. So that's the problem. And that's why you're having this height, this rise in insurgency.
Okay, shall we go to the third topic, and now I'm back to you. The third topic says, intrigues, power play, delay release of Kaduna object 5 months. And the bit by bit, in fact, at a point, the media consultant, Tokomamu, became a negotiator, and they said there's also the government side negotiating. And at a point, the families of those who are captives are relating with Mamu, the media consultant. And is that you see power play or
intrigues and all what we talk about? Mamu has always been speaking up about what the bandits want. He's more like an alter ego or de facto aide to Sheikh Gumi, who meets with the bandits to the knowledge of the government from time to time. And invariably, they keep talking about what the bandits want because they know them. And by extension, the government knows them. So that discussion that we've always discussed around this issue is what exactly is going on. For instance, the Kaduna train thing, so people get released and government was alive to know that there are allegations that people are paying heavily.
Larry, are there allegations?
Not just allegations, they are allegations, but they don't. And they even pretend that they don't know that this is happening. This is commercial. So when you talk about intrigues and all the rest, hello, those who go and deliver these things, there was no surveillance to follow and track and know. We know where they are. For El-Rufai on this train attack, it was then for the first time. The El-Rufai said, look, the military, you know where they are. We all know. We know exactly where they are. So if you can, please go ahead and face them off. And the presidency immediately was talking about those people remembering that they should not spread the names of their families. Hello, you are talking about beasts as family members, that they should not spoil the name of their family. So it goes to show to a large extent that the suspicion of people about this particular incident is strange. The last thing, remember, that Ramu said, that wait a minute, there is an issue that might still cause distension in the nation. Likely it to the case of Leah Sharibu. And let's not forget what happened to Leah Sharibu. All other people were released. She was kept because she refused to renounce. So if that cleric, Muslim cleric, is telling Nigerians to impress it on government to take proactive action and get a particular girl, there are other people there. She's not the only one there. But it's saying if you don't get a particular girl out of that place that the leader of the bandits wants to marry because he says he's in love with her, does it not take two to tango? How can the leader of the bandits say he's in love with somebody? Let us know if the girl is in love with him. But he wants to marry her. And that particular incident is mentioned specifically by that person because he knows it will cause religious distension to an extent. Okay. So we have to be careful that the government should come clean about this issue. They have all the wherewithal to end it, but why are they not?
So like just said, government should come clean. But sometimes, essence of the president on the publicity, media publicity, Garbashi said the abductors seems to be playing games. He said they were to swap 8 children of the leader with them, and that instead of listening, all they just release them. You see an interest of.
You see, it has become political, and politics is full of intrigues. You want to win. It's a game. You are watching what is the faulty step the opponent will take. Unfortunately, you are doing this against the interests of excuse me, a group of Nigerians who have been kept there. Science come out of it. We see videos, they get whipped and things like that. If the government has taken the position of zero tolerance to what do you call this? Exchanging naira, right? Naira to ransom. That's the word. Then we must be seen, or we must see that they are taking the alternative to ransom, and the alternative to ransom payment is action on the spot.
It's funny, what was swapping?
Yeah,
so release our children. They release the children, and with the promise that we release all, and they just release the level.
Yeah, you see, they should know better. Now, who did that to us? The criminals, isn't it? That is where anger must come, and then you find a way of going to root or route them out, as the case may be, whichever is appropriate. You see, they have been daring, and you don't dare a government as big as Nigeria. And they have dared this administration over the time, and very soon it will leave. 9 months, it leaves the scene. What will they say? In all honesty, can a ragtag army stand against the fire power of Nigerian army? No. But because they have shown interest here and there, they are convoluting interest. Everybody is playing their own game. So that is what is happening. And I will still continue to hold the thinking that give their forests one attack, that will kill everybody there. The microcosms here and there will sit back and think afresh.
Okay.
We have not demonstrated that we have the firepower to confront these people. Go and do it once.
Sir, your last thing. Don't forget the fate of 23 still hangs. Your last thing.
Yes, I think to that you said when this thing started, the bandit said the government knows what we want. So the two of them know exactly where they stand. So said that somebody is playing tricks around that is just a face-saving measure. A BBC journalist went to interview one bandit, one kingpin of the bandit, and he said something that sometimes when I think of it, it turns my mind. He said it's like you put a black mark on somebody's heart one time, another black mark on that person's heart the other time, another black mark. He says at a point in time, the whole heart becomes black and he has no conscience anymore. And that's what they are right now. They have no conscience. And you don't deal with somebody who has no conscience with butter and things like that. No! I think the best thing is to go ahead, find a way to rat these people out. If you don't do it and you are waiting for any negotiation, it won't work. They have made so much billions of naira from this Kaduna train thing, and yet these people are sitting there. Some people are sitting there empty.
It is people who pay, whose relations pay that get released. Not just the government has never been able to tell Nigerians that, oh, we caused this release. Everybody who has been released in that is just because their parents or their relations, friends, and what have you
are able to pay.
Yes.
Larry, you want to your last take?
Yes. Truth of the so-called Kaduna attack. You see, the double talk when government kept telling us for weeks that they were kidnapped, that we don't negotiate with bandits. Those people are saying they know what we want. Now at the latter end, when many people have paid as much as 150 million, 100 million per person, that the government is saying, okay, we have to that is admission of guilt to the nation, that you are telling us you can't negotiate with bandits, but at the end of it all, you are coming public to the whole world to say, actually, we actually did some things for them.
That's just, we can take in the next room. Larry.
Thanks for having us once again.
It's very good.
As usual, I thank God for bringing me here safe and sound. Really, I heard it. And I thank you for inviting me.
As well as.
Thank you. Thank you. Back.
By leader, you look very fresh.
What is this so fresh about an old man who just went to do something?
You don't look like one. Does the man look like an old man? And tomorrow when we go to
No, he doesn't look like an old man. He's getting older every day.
We want to back in the news too. My name is Olada Olanipeku. Bye-bye.
ẹ má ṣe dàdọ̀tí sójú pópó ìdọ̀tí sínú kọ́tà ẹ má ṣe dàdọ̀tí sójú afárá ìdọ̀tí sínú rívà ẹ má ṣe dàdọ̀tí sílé onílé ìdọ̀tí sójú títì ẹ má ṣe dàdọ̀tí sójú